As we approach retirement, the prospect of enjoying more free time and having the chance to do the things we really want can be exciting. Exploring the world is on many a checklist, and specialist holiday companies can help make that a reality. In recent years, China has grown in reputation as one of the most alluring and magical of destinations. Lawrence Hicks and the team at Wendy Wu Tours tell us more about the country and what attracts more than 130 million tourists a year.
My name is Lawrence Hicks. I'm the Managing Director of Wendy Wu Tours in the UK. We are the UK's leading specialist tour operator to China. We also offer tours to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka, India and Thailand. We have become the leading specialist China operator here in the UK. We're an award-winning operation, and we're very well known for the quality of the service that we provide to our clients, taking care of every little detail on the tour. Our tours tend to be escorted, although we do some tailor-made holidays as well, and they tend to appeal to the over 55s market very much.
Wendy Wu is a person, it's a real person, she does exist, she still owns and manages the business, she's very hands-on. She bases herself in Shanghai. We also have an office in Sydney and New York, as well as the UK, so she often flies between the three offices. So, and if you're lucky on one of our Wendy Wu tours in China, you'll often see Wendy. She often pops up at restaurants and will have dinner with you or has lunch with you. So some of our group tours come back and are saying, you know, we met Wendy, so that's very funny. And we try and put Wendy's personality into all the parts of our business, so from the brochures we put together through to our advertising, and many of our communications, they come from Wendy. We speak to Wendy, we ask what she'd like to say, what she'd like to tell our customers. Is there anything new in China that she'd like to talk about? She's a very enthusiastic and bubbly person, so we try and get that over in our own activity here.
Typical clients are very much a more mature market. The more mature market tends to appreciate the escorted tour. As you get nearer to retirement, you tend to want to explore places that you haven't explored previously. Got a little bit more time on your hands, on the horizon, so you're starting to tick off what's commonly known as your bucket list. And within that bucket list, there will be places in China that you want to tick off. There'll be places like the Great Wall of China, Tiananmen Square, the Forbidden City, cuddle a panda even, a lot of the things that you've dreamed about doing, and as you get closer to retirement, you've got a lot more time on your hands to be able to fulfill those ambitions.
By its very nature, an escorted tour, which is fully guided and often of slightly longer duration, will fit people of a retirement age because they naturally have more time to spend on holiday. When you're working, you're busy, you don't really have any more than 2 weeks, if that, if you're lucky, and you'll often have family commitments. So the retirement age is, would form the majority of our customers, whether they be couples. Many are semi-retired, so some are still doing some part-time work. We also get a lot of single travellers. A lot of single travellers join a group tour to meet new people, so it's a really great way of meeting new people.
For someone who has always had a great interest in the country, but always couldn't think of going because of the language barriers, because of the distance and all the places I wanted to see, and I wanted to see as much as I could in as far as my money would take me. And so it was one of those opportunities that came up, and Wendy Wu Tours just really fit the bill. It was wonderful because I saw all the places I want to see and extra, with the help of a guide, a national guide that looked after us the whole time, and then local guides that could tell us more the in-depth questions that we might have had. And we just had the most marvellous time. I did what most people do, grabbed every brochure I could, went through everything, looked at all the itineraries, and then found something that fitted our bucket list of places. And then I phoned them up a couple of times and spoke to some really very, very helpful people. And they guided us through, and we came up with Magnificent China would be the one that would suit us. and suit our budget.
We have obviously a fantastic website that clients can look at direct. We have brochures as well that the clients can look at. Obviously contact one of the reservations team and we can discuss any of the tours that they wish to travel on. We've got a lot of different tours that they can choose from. And obviously a lot of us have been on the tours as well, so we've got personal knowledge as well for the tours.
Everything is included, from flights to accommodation to tours. So we will show people around a country, meaning there's no hassle for them. We will include everything and give them an authentic flavour of the destination. I'd
like to go back and see some of the places again and some other ones if the tour would take me there.
People who are a little bit older tend to like the escorted tour environment because you're sharing a tour with people who have common interests. Everything is well organised for you. Your visa are taken care of, your hotels are organised, your transfers. It's a complete package. So it actually makes the whole experience that much easier, much more pleasant for a mature person.
Clients are a bit older now, want to travel a bit more further afield, want to feel secure as well, and have the knowledge and expertise of ourselves, knowing that we've been there, and obviously the guides and national escorts out there. I think it's been looked after, and again, travel with other people who are sort of the same age and share the same passion for the areas they want to travel to.
When I was younger, all I wanted to do was lay on a beach. Went from the airport to the hotel, to the beach, and the club, and that was it. Didn't do anything else. But as I'm getting older, obviously I'm more interested in seeing places, seeing new people, enjoying other people's companies from other countries, and just widening my knowledge, but in a more leisurely way and not having the time constrictions that you have when you're working.
There are over 600,000 people that visit China every year, and that's set to explode even more over the coming years. They reckon that's going to double over the next 3 to 4 years. So you can imagine that there's going to be a great demand for China from people like ourselves. Bear in mind that China is a kind of a 5,000-year-old civilization. It's got an awful lot to offer, got a lot of ancient history, a lot of culture, a lot of cuisine, a real diverse culture from one end of the country to the other. Plus there's these great iconic sites that people wanted to tick off. It is an iconic destination. There's a great interest in China generally in language and in cuisine. It's a great place to go and photograph.
I think it all began with the Beijing Olympics in 2008. That was what put China on the map from an international perspective, and people suddenly became aware of these. I think most people knew of the Great Wall of China, but things like terracotta warriors, the Yangtze River, Shanghai. China is changing so fast. There really has never been a better time to visit. Go now to see the China of old. China's a vast country, and you will find ancient rural China, but the big cities are growing very, very, very fast. So now is a great time to visit.
The key thing is the pre-departure service. I think you have to get some things right before people travel. There has to be this kind of reassurance, and we're very used to providing very good documentation. The point of sale is very important as well. The brochure explains a lot about the destination, prepares them for what they're going to be doing. The fact sheets that we send out to them before they go gives them a lot of information. And then on arrival, having the guide there as soon as they walk through that customs hall, there they are there to greet them. There's the reassuring message they get. They all speak fluent English, and they all know about our customers. They had years of experience of dealing with them, so they're used to that hand-holding operation from start to finish.
We as a company and we as individuals need to understand that the more people go to visit a destination, the greater the impact it's going to have on the local population, their local resources. So, when we're planning our tours, we need to be aware of these factors. We employ local guides and national escorts, which means that more money goes back into the local economy. In terms of transportation, the accommodation we stay in, we need to make sure that they're adhering to sustainable tourism and development practices. We support a charity called Stepping Stones in China, which looks at helping disadvantaged Chinese children. So, you know, we realise that we send a certain number of people over to China and that they have an impact on the local population. So we need to make sure that's a sustainable process, I guess, and that we're mindful of that.
We have obviously the UK-based travel agents obviously can contact us if a client goes into their office, and they'll discuss it with their travel agent and they'll contact us in our reservations department. The group tours itself, obviously they're all set up for us to sell for the clients, but if we need to contact China, we have a fantastic office and staff out there that we can contact daily. They'll give us information that we need if we don't know it offhand.
Join us after the break to find out more about exploring the world during retirement.
If you're thinking of taking a tour to China, then there's only one choice. Wendy Wu Tours, the UK's #1 China specialist. Accompanied by our experienced guides, enjoy the wonders of this amazing country, from the Great Wall to the giant pandas. Fully inclusive tours from just £1,690. Authentic and inspiring. China with Wendy Wu Tours. Call now or visit wendywutours.co.uk.
If you need to make or review your will, contact the Will Writing Company, part of the Estate Planning Group and one of the UK's largest estate planning experts. For complete peace of mind, our viewers are being offered a free, no-obligation consultation at home with a money-back satisfaction guarantee. The first 1,000 viewers to register will also qualify for a 15% discount. It's an offer that is too good to miss. See website for details.
Are you concerned about memory loss? Many people are. It's understandable. Scientists now link memory loss associated with Alzheimer's and dementia to a rise in the level of the amino acid homocysteine in our blood. Homocysteine can be reduced by the ingredients in Betranag, a simple one-a-day supplement containing the highest doses of B vitamins, folic acid, and the powerful antioxidant NAC. Memory loss? Try Betranag, a research-based solution.
The Society of Genealogists can help you with your research. The largest family history library and archive in the UK contains some remarkable collections. Why not become a member to gain remote access to the Society's growing online database of records? The Society also runs an extensive education programme of family history courses and publications which may be relevant to your ancestry. Contact us now.
The holidays are over. Time to get healthy.
But I don't have time.
Curves provides 30-minute workouts. And didn't you say you were going to change your eating habits?
Oh, yes, but I don't know how to.
Curves has customizable meal plans. Come on, let's do it.
But I'll never follow through.
I'll be your personal coach. Designed specifically for women, Curves is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 30-minute workouts, customizable meal plans, and personal coaching. Visit your local Curves now for a chance to win a trip to the Caribbean.
If you're thinking of taking a tour to China, then there's only one choice. Wendy Wu Tours, the UK's #1 China specialist. Accompanied by our experienced guides, enjoy the wonders of this amazing country, from the Great Wall to the giant pandas. Fully inclusive tours from just £1,690. Authentic and inspiring. China with Wendy Wu Tours. Call now or visit wendywutours.co.uk.
Holidays may be about relaxation, education, or thrill-seeking, but what's most important is that they're personal. Retirement often heralds different requirements and a desire for fresh challenges and experiences. Guided tours can enable you to see destinations in a new light, provided your tour guide is good. Ben Briggs tells us more about Wendy Wu's Chinese tour guides.
If you want to see an authentic way of life, an authentic part of the country, guided by the local experts, we only use local guides. Our national escorts, which accompany you for the entire duration of your tour, are local. They're Chinese. They will be able to impart their own knowledge and their own. They might have, stories from their childhood that a Western guide, for example, couldn't do. They'll be able to give you real insights into the psyche of the Chinese people, what it's like growing up in China. If you go to Xi'an to see the terracotta warriors, the local guides will live in Xi'an. You often go and have lunch with a local family. They might invite you to go and stay with them for an afternoon. So you know that's the kind of thing that you'll get on a Wendy Wu tour.
It's actually very important that the tour guides understand the customer, and so we spend a lot of time training them and helping them to understand our customers so that they know how to deal with them at the other end, because they have to cope with all sorts of contingencies.
We have some amazing feedback from clients. They have like a questionnaire they can fill out after the tour, but to be honest, we have quite a lot of people who actually contact us direct. I had a lady yesterday call me and she'd been on a brilliant tour, named the actual local guides there, so then we can feed that information back to China, which I did yesterday, and I've had a reply back this morning to say thank you very much. So it's great to get the compliments.
I spend a lot of time reading customer feedback, and it's quite interesting, and as the company is called Wendy Wu Tours, Wendy tends to personalise the business a lot in her dealings with, in our dealings with the customer, and not very often we get letters addressed to Wendy from customers relaying their personal experiences on tours, and I think they make fantastic reading. And a lot of these people remember that having fulfilled the ambition of walking on the Great Wall of China, or seeing a panda in its natural habitat, or getting into Tiananmen Square, and all these things they've seen on the TV or seen on the internet, they're actually realising these things, you know, actually being able to touch and feel them. It brings a lot of emotions to these people, and I think that's the great thing about the feedback that we get. We get feedback about those emotions and what they experience and what it means to people.
It's a developing nation in terms of its tourism infrastructure, in terms of the accommodation, transportation, etc. But it's you know, there's millions of domestic Chinese tourists visiting their own country. They're starting to visit the sites just as you and I would do from the UK or from any other country. So it's developed to a certain degree, but it's certainly catching up very fast with some of the existing destinations. You know, the States, the UK, Europe, which has been a sort of tourism destination for a long time. So it's catching up very fast. I
wasn't really shocked about anything. I think the most is that we were the people that were stared at. You know, we're used to staring at monuments and things, but we're quite a novelty to the Chinese people. So we were always having our photographs taken, usually with the little face over our shoulder that we didn't know about till afterwards. Watching young girls climb the Great Wall in stilettos. And, you know, they were weird and wonderful things. You know, obviously the Chinese, when they are on holiday, they dress up. So it was the sequin top and the stilettos climbing up the Great Wall. China, I think that was the most weird thing I've ever seen. But no, we expected most things. It would be impossible to try and do what we did by ourselves because of the language and the vastness of the country. And, you know, obviously the youngsters more likely all speak English, but the older people don't. And it would have been an absolute impossibility to do anything and seen anything. I think we'd still be lost in Beijing if we did it on our own.
You need to go with an open mind. You need to... China is different. China is not like going to Spain for 2 weeks. And you need to embrace everything that you're confronted with. Logistics, language, all that kind of thing. Albeit you'll have a national guide and local experts who will look after you, but there will be things along the way that you'll encounter which will be very different, and you need to accept it and adapt to it, and you have a much better time. I think it's true to say the Chinese do eat pretty much anything, but on a Wendy Wu tour you will sample the cuisines from each different region, so you won't have the same food in Beijing than you will in Shanghai, or down in the south of China in Guilin. Or if you go over to the Sichuan area to see the pandas, Sichuan cooking is known to be quite we use lots of peppers and garlic and chili. We obviously need to adapt the menus and the food that we don't want to blow everyone's socks off. Some people like that, but some don't. We have a group of 20 or so people with different tastes. So on a Wendy Wu tour, you'll experience cuisines from each region. There's always a great variety, particularly lots of vegetable dishes. Obviously meat, you'll have a special Peking duck meal in Beijing, dim sum in Xi'an. So you'll certainly get to experience the wide variety of dishes, and it'll be nothing like your local Chinese takeaway.
I think the internet brings the world to your doorstep, in a sense, through your computer screen, and that actually encourages people and probably drives people's appetite to want to get to see these places. So, I mean, we've heard of the Silver Surfer, and I think that's a reality. I know a lot of people within that older age group, they're very happy to surf the internet and explore these places, and they actually want to get out there and feel and touch them themselves. So there is a growing demand for that sort of more mature, retired age group to want to travel. Plus, I think more time they have on their hands. They want to use that time constructively and get out there and explore the world.
We're so confined to short holiday dates and obviously family commitments, so many different things that doesn't really lend itself to enjoy something, because half the time you're worrying about what you've left back at home, whether it's family or it's work commitments. And when you're retired, all those just disappear. So then you can just sit and relax and plan something and know that you're going to enjoy it 100%. And you have the time to maybe add on to something, or just to be able to go off just for a few days and not have to think, oh, I've got to get time off work and, juggle too many other commitments. It's just marvellous. I was 68 yesterday, and I think, all right then, well, I've got another, say, 12 years or so. So, I'll just keep on till my money runs out.
Holiday is obviously a relaxation from your normal routine. When you travel in retiring age, it's actually, I think, fulfilling unexplored areas and adventures in your life that you've probably wanted to explore before, and that you now find yourself with more time on your hands to do so. I think that's a great feature. My parents, for instance, didn't really start to travel properly until my father retired from work, and I think that's a perfect example of what people do. They retire, they find more time on their hands, and they've got places they want to see, and they naturally have time to explore those places.
I'm going to the Caribbean in December. I go every year if I can, and that started off because I'm not very good in the illness-wise in the winter, so it used to set me up for the winter months. There's a few brochures we're looking at, and we're sort of mulling over what to do, but whether to do shorter trips and explore closer to home or another long trip. I'd love to go back to India. I'd like to do more of Asia. So it's a case of whatever takes our fancy.
I've been fortunate enough to go a few times, and I'm going in a few weeks' time. I'll be going to on one of our tours, on a short tour, visiting some of the iconic sites with some of my family and friends, and then I'll be fortunate enough to have a board meeting there in a few weeks' time, so I'm looking forward to my visit very much. I think one of my personal experiences, one of my favourite experiences in China was visiting the Great Wall. I'd read and I'd seen so much about it, and when I considered its vastness and the effort it took to build it, actually being able to walk on it and climb it was a real adventure for me.
One of my main stand-up moments was the Great Wall of China, something I've always wanted to do, and once I arrived there and saw how fantastic it was and climbed a good section of it as well, it was brilliant, so good.
I love the Yangtze cruise. That was just phenomenal, just gliding down and just those high cliffs on either side. The pandas, obviously, terracotta warriors. Love the gardens in Suzhou. Those gardens were absolutely breathtaking. There were just too many, and all for different reasons, but just had the most wonderful trip. I thought I'd be bored. I thought, because I was so used to working for 50 years, I worked apart from 6 weeks I had off, and that was to get my tax back. That was it. So I'd worked a long time and long hours in a quite stressful business, and I just thought to not be able to have a purpose in the morning to get up and do things. But now I find the days just go, and I just wonder how I did so much. And but, you know, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon before I've realised it, and it's easy to unwind if you've got the right mindset, if you embrace it for what it is, your time. I always go out every day, it doesn't matter where I am, I always go out, get some fresh air, walk. I'd never stay in all day. I think that's it. Not to veg, not to just sit on that settee and watch TV all day and do nothing. Do something. There's always something to do. It's great. I do a little part-time job that just ticks me over every now and then, and that's fine. That's all I need, really. My grandparents, it was always saving everything for a rainy day, you know, and you know, nowadays you don't know how long you've got. So just embrace everything and do what you can within your means and within, you know, what you want to do, and just go for it, because rainy days might or might not come. I've got my health, and while I've got my health, I want to travel, I want to do things. When I can't, then I've got good memories, and that's fine. But at least I know I've done something and seen something of the world.
Having more time is one of the great benefits of retirement. Every year, more people are using that time to travel. Throw a spirit of adventure into the mix, and you have a combination that opens up, quite literally, a world of possibilities.